and it is September 1st. It's hurricane season. Hurricane Harvey's threat now spreading to Louisiana and Tennessee.
Yep, and as Texas struggles to recover from the catastrophic flooding it's experiencing right now, a new storm is rapidly gaining strength over the Atlantic. Is this a misprint of the teleprompter? No. Hurricane Irma now upgraded to a Category 3.
Wow. Meteorologist Janice Dean is live in studio tracking its path. I'm convinced she never sleeps. Janice, good morning.
We're going to be watching several storms in the next week or so. This is what's left of Harvey. I just want to make mention we had several reports of tornadoes, a damaging one in Tuscaloosa yesterday. Now we're going to see the remnants move across the Ohio River Valley and the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast. Upwards of 4 to 6 inches still possible with this system, and we're unfortunately going to see a part of Harvey as we get into the long weekend for the Northeast. Hurricane Irma, all eyes on Irma, and will be for the next several days. It has the potential to become one of the strongest storms we have seen. I think we could actually be up to a Cat 5 in the next 5 days. Not saying it'll make landfall as a Cat 5, but, you know, strengthening to that would be pretty amazing. Here's the steering pattern. We've got the Bermuda high out here. If this high remains strong, then the path is going to move more westward. If the high breaks down, then we're going to see a curve, and the East Coast could be impacted. So those are the steering currents we're going to watch. Here's the European model. This one has been very good, very reliable. Heading through Tuesday, watching the Lesser Antilles, certainly Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and the Bahamas. But looks like this curves and comes very close to the southeast coast. Now, if I could, real quick, I just want to show you the GFS. The GFS is now in agreement that we think the East Coast could be impacted, more likely perhaps than Florida or the Gulf of Mexico. This one brings it very close to the Mid-Atlantic on Sunday. So I'm not saying that this is the outcome. I am just saying be prepared. Don't want to scare. Be prepared. East Coast, Florida, Gulf Coast, and then we have another one behind this one coming off the coast of Africa right now that will be a hurricane.
Wow.
Wow, another one. The good thing is, though, you have September 10th up on the graphic, which means we have 10 days to prepare for
Absolutely.
Harvey.
That's a very good point, Ainsley. We have time to prepare people.
And you don't want it to hit anywhere, but the previous projections had shown it going into the Gulf, potentially the same spot.
Listen,
so a little bit of good news there.
A week out, we don't have enough confidence. All I want people to do is know what to do if you have a hurricane on your doorstep.
Right. I'm for leaving it in the ocean. We prefer that. I prefer big waves.
As we mentioned, what's left of Harvey is now leading to some new flooding in other parts of the South. And there's actually, believe it or not, a new threat in the tropics this morning. Dylan is tracking that for us. What are we looking at here?
Well, let's get to all of it because there's a lot to talk about. The heaviest of the rain is now moving through Kentucky, so we're starting to dry things out back through Tennessee. We do have flash flood warnings in effect right in and around Bowling Green, Kentucky. Those last through tonight. Nashville, those flash flood watches will expire early this afternoon. On the eastern side of it, this is still a powerful storm. We could see some isolated tornadoes and some stronger storms through the Carolinas, even back into parts of eastern Kentucky. We are looking at an additional 3 to 5 inches of rain on top of the 4 to 6 inches of rain that has already fallen. That's why we do have that flash flood threat. Here is Hurricane Irma. It is a major hurricane right now, a Category 3. It is still more than 3,000 miles off the coast of Miami. So we are looking at this storm into next weekend, but we do not yet know the effects it'll have, if any, on the United States. As of right now, it is forecast to eventually strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane. And here are the steering currents for this storm. If we have this weak ridge of high pressure, we could start to see this take a turn, possibly affecting the Mid-Atlantic. Now, if this is a stronger ridge of high pressure, we could see it steered a little farther to the south and then watch as it goes through parts of Haiti and Cuba. Again, there are so many question marks because this is not a forecast until next weekend, so a lot will change, but it's certainly worth watching.
The last thing anyone wants to see on a map.
It really is.
Dylan, thank you.
But here's the latest NHC output here, showing it at a Category 2 and remaining a Category 2 for the next 12 hours or so. I would not doubt, though, if it goes right back up to a Category 3 by this evening. And then as it goes into the weekend and beyond, it heads towards the Leeward Islands before taking more of a northerly and then northwesterly trend, possibly north of San Juan. Anywhere out from there, very, very uncertain. Models can pretty much go anywhere. All right, let's talk about satellite imagery now. You see in the last couple runs, you had the eye wall to start, and then it sort of disappears. This is something that usually happens in very intense hurricanes. It's called an eye wall replacement cycle. And you can see in the last few frames, it reemerges. So that's why I actually think that it's going to start re-strengthening again. And you also notice the general size of the storm has also increased over the last couple of hours as it moves on off towards the west. Here's how it looks in terms of how far it is from us. Still very far, 2,400 miles over that, away from Norfolk and Hampton Roads. So it's moving at 10 miles an hour, way out in the future.
Right on Hurricane Irma, as we continue to see it churning through the Atlantic. Right now, sustained winds at 110 miles per hour. It has weakened a little bit from yesterday, but it is expected to strengthen once again as it continues to move off towards the west. Now, it's not anywhere near land and certainly not anywhere here near the United States. So this is still at least 8 to 10 days away from it potentially having impacts on us here in Florida and also up the East Coast. But the latest track from the National Hurricane Center shows that it is expected now to remain north of the islands. This would be great news because at that time, as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday of next week, it's going to be expected to be up toward Category 4, anywhere from winds above 130 miles per hour all the way up to 155 miles per hour. So we hope it can avoid the Caribbean islands, but as it continues to move off towards the north and the west, there is the potential for it to have impacts on the United States. It's something our team of meteorologists will continue to keep you posted on, but again, it wouldn't be here for at least another 5 to 10 days.